e o que seria dos androides se não tivessem por trás os humanos. É mesmo com o protagonista deste jogo, Bryan Dechart, que nós também falámos aqui em Detroit, no lançamento de Detroit Become Human, ele que dá vida à personagem de Connor e que, além da entrevista, ainda teve tempo para jogar um pouco connosco nesta aventura aqui por esta cidade, daqui a 20 anos, em 2038. Vamos ver.
My name is Connor. This is our story. So Connor is an android who's tasked with stopping other deviant androids that are going against their programming. So Connor's an advanced model, he's a prototype, a detective, and he's sent by CyberLife to investigate these mysterious happenings that are starting to spread throughout the city of Detroit. And Connor is very cold, he's calculated, he's very analytical, and so it was difficult for me, I would say, in exploring how we can make him feel as if he has the ability to interact with humans. He can emulate emotions, but these emotions are not necessarily rooted in his own reaction or experience. So he has, there's a disconnect between the way he seems to behave and what he might actually feel, if anything. To me, the video game is very fun because with a traditional film, you have a beginning, a middle, and an end. But here we have one beginning, many different middles, and lots and lots and lots and lots of different endings. So it was very fun because you have permission to imagine what if this happens, what if this happens. But it was also tricky because we don't know what just happened from the player's point of view, and we don't know what the player will choose to do in the future. So I imagined each of these scenes more as layers and less of scenes in a direct order, and more like a transparency that if you were to shine a light through it at the end, the audience would experience their own unique version of Connor depending on all of the choices that they make. It's cool. The cool thing about the performance capture is that there's of course technical limitations because we can't have anything reflective on set. Most of the props are very simple or made of cardboard. Sometimes you don't even have your scene partner there to act with. But in a lot of ways it's very freeing because you don't have to worry about where would the lights be, where's the camera. They can put all of these things in afterwards, and so in the moment of actually filming it's just about the actors and their connection between the two characters and the responses and the listening. Yeah, for me, so I went to New York University to study acting, and my favorite two classes were physical movement, which we study all kinds of different techniques, and voice and speech. And both of these things play heavily into Connor because, of course, depending on how the player plays, we have a very android-like Connor who can evolve or become even more so direct to his mission. And also his voice is very important because Connor speaks very clearly, he's concise, he is very direct so that there's no miscommunication. And so for me this was a nice challenge because a lot of times in regular life our speech is lazy, our behavior is very simple, but for Connor I was able to experiment with a lot of the things that an android might be. He's very efficient. If a human might do something in 3 parts to open a door, whereas Connor does it in 1. And so it's about reducing and simplifying what he needs to get done for his mission or what he's trying to do from his own point of view, but as simply as possible so that it comes across for the player. What should they expect? They should expect the fact that they can play this game once, making a set of decisions, and then play again, making a completely different set of decisions, and to compare and contrast maybe how they play and their friend plays. I think it's going to spark a lot of very interesting conversations, maybe some debates, maybe some arguments, which I think is a really cool way to evolve or elevate the gameplay in a way where you're experiencing the story as you play, but also the world of the story because of the possibilities in it. I think this is happening. I think we're on this trajectory. I mean, even for racing games or for sports games, you watch the trailers and they're very cinematic. It feels like you're watching a movie. I think that this is an experience, and now that the technology is catching up with this idea that you can film so many different permeations and have them be equally of a high quality and engaging, but the player themselves feels like they're now in a movie. And I think that obviously with the evolution of virtual reality and augmented reality, I think that the storytelling is going to continue to blur the line between what it's like to sit passively and watch a movie versus to actually be actively engaged in all of the decisions. And I'm really,
ultimate experience.
I really think so. I mean, it's the closest thing we're going to have. I mean, as an actor, you get the experience to drop into an imaginary world with imaginary circumstances and pretend as if you're an android on a rooftop. We don't really get that in our day-to-day lives, and so to be able to pick up a controller and be transported, and now all of the decisions on your shoulders and all of the consequences are up to you, I think is a really interesting prospect, and it's going to give people a lot of freedom to maybe be braver than they are in real life, or to make choices that they might not feel comfortable making in real life, and see how that plays out. And I'm very excited to play. I've played the demo. I'm going to play through the full game on Twitch when it comes out. I'm going to stream it on my Twitch stream on release day, and then on May 27th, which is the Sunday it comes out, after it comes out. And I'm just excited to see, you know, I know what will happen with Connor, but for Kara and for Marcus, I have very little idea. So I'm really excited to play, especially as those two.